So just when you thought Meghan Markle couldn't get any more mad, she's plotting to return to the United Kingdom and working with the Labour government in the United Kingdom to do so in an establishment plot which has been branded Operation Thor. Now, of course, none of us want the duplicitous Duchess back, and indeed, Prince Harry himself seemed to rule it out as ludicrous earlier in the year in that interview with the British Bashing Corporation.
I can't see a world in which I would be bringing my wife and children back to the UK at this point. And the things that they're going to miss is, well, everything. You know, I love my country. I always have done, despite what some people in that country.
Okay, so we're going to get analysis from the brilliant According to Taz in just one moment. But first, here is the revelation from Richard Eden in the Daily Mail. Meghan's coming back. I've discovered jaw-dropping name and details of the establishment plot to return her and Harry and undermine Kate and William. You won't believe their gall. Well, actually, I do believe their gall, Richard Eden. And if you've been following these two over a long period of time, if you've been looking at this ludicrous appearance as humanitarians of the year in New York City, where they still have the front to turn up on the red carpet side by side to accept a gong like that, but seemingly still hate each other, then you will know they most certainly have the gall. But here's the reporting. Meghan's French sojourn was part of the establishment plot backed by some senior politicians and courtiers that I have written about here in previous weeks. And I've even discovered its name. It's known as Project Thor because the aim is to warm up the Duke and Duchess's frosty relationships with the rest of the royal family and with the British people. And what could be better than pictures of her being greeted with kisses by the European fashion pack as well as Vogue Supremo Dame Anna Wintour? This trip is all part of the Thor process, a friend of the California-based couple tells me. Project Thor aims to melt that hostility based on the perceived success of the Duke's visit to Britain last month, when he carried out charity engagements and, crucially, was invited to Clarence House for tea with King Charles. That was followed by a visit to Kiev, where Harry just happened to arrive on the same train to the war-torn Ukrainian capital as the newly appointed Foreign Secretary Yvette Cooper. I understand that Ms. Cooper is among the establishment figures who admire the Duke and want him to play a bigger part in public life. While in Kiev, Harry told anti-monarchy newspaper The Guardian that he hoped to return to Britain with Meghan and their children, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet. This week has definitely brought that closer, he claimed. I can disclose that the next planned move in the plot, or process, as their pals prefer to put it, suggesting a natural progression, is the couple's first joint visit to Britain since they attended a charity engagement in September 2022, then stayed on for Queen Elizabeth's funeral. Meghan will return to Britain before the year is out, the friend tells me, adding jokingly that she will be bearing humble pie. It remains to be seen whether bearing humble pie and eating it, presumably, is sufficient to placate the royal family or the British people. Well, Tash, let me tell you, no amount of humble pie is going to be enough. This is an insane plot. And trust me, the British government have never been more out of touch with their people. This is a hated government. For people outside of the United Kingdom, Keir Starmer, Yvette Cooper, they are hated politicians. So the fact that they are pursuing a plan to bring Prince Harry and Meghan Markle back when no one wants that is extraordinary.
It's a story that when I read it, I thought surely they couldn't, surely they wouldn't. I mean, obviously we know with our current government that yes, they would be that stupid, but it seems almost like too big of a plot. But like, you know, Richard brought up, he was on that train with Yvette Cooper and it's funny. But then I also believe that this could be cooked up by their PR. The reason being is it's the ultimate rage bait. It's the ultimate rage bait to give people something to click on and to rant about. Harry and Meghan especially, she doesn't care if people are saying stuff negative about her. She just cares that people are talking about her. And this seems to all coincide with me where they changed their PR team. They've got PR people that used to work in the political field. And to me, it seems very similar of the underhanded political battles that you see when an election is coming up. You get the smear campaigns and you get these stories dropped, which are designed to make people irate, to make people talk about, the politician, as it were. And I really just see a pattern with Harry and Meghan since they've changed their PR team. To me, the fact that this person has said with a straight face, presumably to Richard Eden, that Meghan is going to be coming back, she and Harry will be coming back so they can undermine the Prince and Princess of Wales, tells me that's a Sussex PR person that has come up with that nonsense. They couldn't undermine the Prince and Princess of Wales. And there is no way the British public are going to thaw the ones that are royalists, because the royalists cared about Queen Elizabeth. They are still very, very upset about the way that Harry and Meghan treated the king and the king, well, obviously the king now, because he's carried that behaviour forward, but the way they treated Queen Elizabeth in her final years and Prince Philip after everything that was given to them. So the only people that might cheer Harry and Meghan on are going to be the anti-monarchists, the people that want to see the monarchy fall, because there's no better way than to guarantee losing support for the royal family than bringing those two back and forcing them on the public again.
I know, and Tash, it's so extraordinary because it's like, are they not seeing what the rest of the people are seeing? That actually,
the politicians.
Well, yeah, true.
No,
Never,
of course not.
Never, of course
not.
not. But it's like Harry and Meghan are now just trying to use Britain and use the royal family because things are so desperate. And obviously things are so desperate in their relationship, Tash, but things are so desperate for them professionally too. Big news, Outspoken is now available as a podcast too. So please do subscribe wherever you get yours, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and make sure you rate and review. I'll take 5 stars, if you may.
They need the association back with the royal family. So making up all of these stories about how they're coming back, I don't think anybody believes that Meghan Markle wants to step foot in this country. She will not handle the boos. She will not handle the heckling. And, we've heard all of her sob stories before. I mean, those two between them tried to paint out that the British public were racist. There's so many things that they have said offensive towards this country. They tried with their lies and allegations. They tried to disrupt the relationship between the UK and the Commonwealth countries. We saw, because of their lies and the race baiting and the stirring that they did, the reason why Catherine and William had a little bit of extra unnecessary trolling themselves when they did the tour of the Caribbean. These two are an absolute menace, and I honestly think that they're a diplomatic accident waiting to happen. But they just seem to be trying to stir up as much connection to the royals as possible. And this is the only thing that they've got left. We're coming back. We're coming back. And how their fan base can support them, considering everything that Harry and Meghan said about the evil, dark, racist institute that was so awful, they were racist to their children, and then they're like, oh yeah, well, Harry and Meghan will go back. They'll take over. It'll be great. They'll be the new king and queen. It just shows a whole level of delusion.
It's nuts.
Just crazy stuff.
It's totally nuts. And it's like, it's not going to work. Trust me, it's not going to work. I mean, think about Queen Camilla. Operation Thor took about 3 decades. Okay.
Yeah.
And even now, the reason that she remains so low down in the YouGov poll ratings is because people still don't forget what happened with Princess Diana. We're never forgetting. We are never forgetting what these two did to Prince Philip and the late Queen, and now Charles. It's like history repeating. But also, look, I think the one thing that is now categorical, Tash, because even royal correspondents and commentators who have maybe given a little bit more understanding to the lies from Harry and Meghan that everything's fine are now realising you can't look at the pictures over the weekend and think that, like from the Royal News Network. The tension appears rather palpable in the pictures. To be fair, Harry is awkward at these events, but Meghan, as ever, overcompensates. Her fake looks of love are just a little pathetic at this point. Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban did that too. And we all know where that ended up. And Tash, it is just worth just taking a look again to realise this is not a relationship that can be saved long term.
See you in a bit. We'll see you upstairs. Hey, Harry, what are you upstairs?
Which is what we began to do.
Since then, as our network grew, we've seen the full scope of what we're facing. We have witnessed the explosion of unregulated artificial intelligence, heard more and more stories from heartbroken families, and watched parents all over the world become increasingly concerned about their children's digital lives.
But of course, as Nancy Sidley pointed out, Tash, Prince Harry's words do not match Meghan Markle's actions. Because there they are, talking about social media and all of the alarm bells, but look at the pictures that she has posted in recent months. Merching a soccer camp and Meghan's TV shows, merching pajamas and a resort in Mexico. Doting mother. Yeah, right. And we're going to see so much more of this, Tash, as the commercial desperation grows. And at the end of the day, Meghan Markle is now in charge. So Harry can say what he wants about social media, but her actions do not follow their script.
No, of course. And then even recently with Paris, with the Balenciaga. I mean, yes, okay, they've sacked the team that were responsible for that awful ad campaign. But that's still a terrible fashion house to first align yourself with. Perhaps it's the only one that was willing to align themselves with Meghan at the end of the day. But it's not a good look for a woman that is stood on stage talking about the harms of children on the internet when she's representing a fashion house that, well, those images still, to be honest with you, scar me a little bit that anybody would deem that appropriate. But her friend, Miss Anne Harriman, the photographer, he even said it's not just it was one person that made the decision to run that terrible campaign using children and bondage bears. There was a whole massive team of people, of adults, that decided to push that through and say, hey, this is a great idea. And Meghan chooses that fashion house as her first one for, some people will call it, a victorious return to fashion. Oh dear me. I told you, her PR team are in overdrive, and you can tell when it's one of those that's written it.
100%. But the problem is, Tash, there's nothing that can be done. I mean, for example, Megyn Kelly saying after watching the Paris stunt, she's just unwell. do you know what I mean? It's like
it's not right. It wasn't right. I mean, and to people to say that, oh, the Daily, I think her team said that the Daily Mail were the ones that were reaching so far that they could even compare her putting her feet up in a car to Diana's crash site. And you're thinking to yourself, I have literally just watched the video clip, and the lights at the end of the video where you're filming your feet up are of the tunnel where, well, the bridge over the tunnel where Diana died. It wasn't a great stretch. People haven't bent what Meghan's done or fabricated this. She chose to film that bit. She chose to stay a few mere minutes away. She could have had all of the choice of all of the luxury hotels in Paris, and they have a lot. And she chose to take the one that would take her on that route past that tunnel. And she was the one that chose to film those final few moments, which was merely seconds away in the car going up to that tunnel. So for talking about the Thor, this Operation Thor with the royal family, I think with Harry going to, where did he go? Ukraine, when he was out there and then doing an interview with The Guardian, which are anti-monarchy, that have done so many stories about why we should become a republic, and then Meghan doing a stunt like that. I can't imagine that's going to thaw many people's hearts towards them in the royal family or members of the public, which quite rightly, the Diana stunt has backfired on her epically, because Diana is still very much loved, despite obviously no longer being here for over 20 years. It was an epic own goal.
I know, and the thing is, Tash, there's just no way to spin it. There's no way to spin it, because any explanation is terrible. So the truth is probably the worst, because the truth that this was, the truth is that this was cynical and planned. That is definitely the worst. But then, what, you're just so thoughtless that you didn't think about your husband's feelings at all? That ain't good either. So the problem is there is no way to spin this, and they haven't actually even really been able to try, apart from say, Daily Mail, you're the ones that killed Diana, it's all on you. which didn't work. Because the point is
Yeah.
actually, Tash, as is always the case now, the Daily Mail was slow to this. Do you know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
people like you, people like the Sidleys, Royal East Sage, Royal News Network. You were all on this the moment that it happened. And actually, all of the Daily Mail was doing was reacting to you guys online, realizing the horror of what had happened over the weekend. But look, there's going to be more of these stunts from Meghan Markle to come, Tash, because the desperation is now massive. Brand new event was just announced yesterday as well. Nancy Sidley described it like this: another pay to play. Interesting how they didn't put Meghan on the cover with other speakers. And that says something, doesn't it? I mean, okay, you could argue Kamala Harris, Selena Gomez, pretty big names. But the fact that they view all of those other people, Tash, as bigger names than Meghan Markle is very, very interesting. But what was clear from the biography of Meghan that was released with this group of speakers is that the
It's just a name.
victimhood mentality is back, Tash.
Yeah.
But first, the number one worst fruit for your waistline. Look, are you turning healthy fruits into highly unhealthy fruits without even realizing it? Fruit can be one of the healthiest things you can put into your body. But the majority of Americans are guilty of making this single mistake that can counteract all of the health benefits of fruit. Some fruits can help with occasional constipation, reduce bloating, and even help burn calories. Others can wreak havoc on your digestive system and energy levels. Now, I came across this viral presentation from world-renowned heart surgeon Dr. Stephen Gundry that showcases the 3 fruits to stop eating today. It was shocking. I had no idea. And after finding it out, I've stopped eating these 2. I'm going to put a link for you all to watch it because I want you all to gain this information. I think it's truly important, actually. You can go watch it right now at thehealthyfat.com/outspoken. That's thehealthyfat.com/outspoken. I've also linked it in the description box below this video too, or if you're watching on YouTube or Rumble, you can just click on the QR code on screen or hold up your phone, to the QR code. You know how it works. Oh, and by the way, eliminating these fruits could forever change the way we help increase energy levels, decrease brain fog, support digestion, and even lose weight. So make sure to click on the link below or go to thehealthyfat.com/outspoken to find out now. Dr. Gundry has lost 70 pounds himself using his research and has kept the weight off for over 20 years and counting. His digestive issues are gone. His health is fantastic. He feels younger today than he did in his 40s. His video has been watched by over 20 million people to date. You can watch and learn more about it at thehealthyfat.com/outspoken. Just click on the link in the description box below this video. But now, back to the show.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot there about Meghan, is there? Because she has achieved absolutely nothing other than marrying a member of the royal family. I mean, you can call as ever an achievement, which I think we all know is about to crash and burn, really. She seems to have lost interest in that, hence the restyling. She's now trying to pretend that she's like Victoria Beckham, strutting her stuff around Paris, again, wearing a tailored suit to this event. I think she's entering her Victoria Beckham cosplay phase. But yes, I mean, whenever Harry and Meghan are mentioned at any of these speaking events, which, like you say, clearly are just pay to play, they just have their titles because these two have achieved absolutely nothing with every single opportunity that has been given to both of them, courtesy of their parents, including Thomas Markle for Meghan, all of the things that they could have done with their life, all of the amazing opportunities that they had being members of the royal family. And this is what it's all come down to, these pay for plays and collecting awards for themselves. They couldn't be further removed from what it is to be a member of the royal family who give awards to other people. They do not collect them and pat themselves on the back.
Tash, there's another huge scandal growing though, and it's African parks. And in some ways, Prince Harry was quite lucky this week because all of the other ludicrous behavior from his wife really overshadowed what was the most devastating story for Harry's reputation. And look at this from Newsweek, which is pretty close to the Sussexes, now offering Harry a way out, but he would have to quit the charity, Tash, which he doesn't want to do because it's the last charity he's got in Africa. So let me take you through this reporting from Jack Royston, the royal correspondent of Newsweek, who writes, Prince Harry has come under fresh pressure over his African Parks charity after it was ditched by the government of Chad. Harry was already under pressure to distance himself from the organisation after accounts of human rights abuses emerged in the British press in January 2024 through campaign group Survival International, which seeks to protect the rights of Indigenous tribes around the world. Survivor International told Newsweek in a statement, this is a news statement, this is yet another setback for African Parks' harmful model of conservation. Not only does it violate human rights, it also doesn't work. Earlier this year, the organisation refused to publish the results of its investigation into human rights abuses. Together with its growing list of scandals, this reveals a deep lack of accountability and transparency. Its supporters, including funders and board members, Prince Harry, must take a hard look at themselves and end their support before more damage is done. And of course, the allegations of abuse do date back to January 2024, yet Harry has still not said a word. When the Mail on Sunday published testimony from alleged victims, including a Baka tribeswoman in the Odzala Kokoa National Park, who said an African Parks ranger led her into the forest and raped her as she clutched her newborn baby. I mean, that was just one of a whole number of heinous allegations. And it is extraordinary, Tash, isn't it, how quickly Harry will clap back on a whole load of tiny little issues. You know, the Sun reporting that Charles was cold with him in the meeting at Buckingham Palace. That immediately results in an on-the-record statement. Oh, but rape and human rights abuses to unknown women in Africa, not a word. Still not a word, Tash. I mean, we are going to be coming up to 2 years and we have had total radio silence from Prince Harry on this issue when the BBC sat down with him earlier this year and the BBC boasted, Tash, oh, nothing was off limits. We could have asked Harry anything we wanted. Well, you claim to be humanitarians, BBC. You claim to give a damn about Africa. Did you ask one question about the rapes and the human rights violations involved in the African Parks charity? No. So at some point, Tash, I think Newsweek is actually right. He's either going to have to quit and just try and cut ties or deal with this.
I think even with that, like you said, first of all, Harry, I think he got told of the atrocities that were being committed sometime before it was actually proved after an investigation. But the fact that he didn't step down once it turned out that these are absolutely horrific crimes against humanity are being committed by the charity that he was promoting in New York last year. And he didn't step down. And here he is collecting a humanitarian award. I mean, it's not just the Congo either. I've read reports that there have been similar complaints against the rangers in Zambia, another place at which they operate. Now you've had Chad, which seems to be, from what I'm reading, more to do with financial issues, money going missing, money being shipped off to tax havens and things. And he is still promoting them. I can't honestly believe that Harry found out about those atrocities because somebody sent him a video, and his excuse was he passed it down to people that would deal with it. Now, if that were me and that was an organisation I was linked to, and someone told me something as awful as this was being committed, I would make it my very own personal mission to find out if it's true, and if it was, I would throw that organisation under a bus as well as resign. And Harry's done nothing, and yet he's collecting another award for being a humanitarian. It is honestly, it's unbelievable. It really is unbelievable, and it just shows Harry yet again that outside of the royal umbrella, he's completely clueless. We've had this with Centre Bali, we've had this with this organisation. The Invictus Games seems to be in sort of financial troubles with lots of rumours of needing bails out because money's being misspent. And it just makes you think how much the royals were not just looking after Harry's character, but also keeping an eye perhaps on some of these, what are turning out to be kind of nefarious organisations, what they get up to now that they don't have the royal family's team of lawyers, perhaps keeping such a watchful eye on them.
I know. But
it makes me angry. Sorry, I'm ranting now.
No, I'm so with you. I am so with you. It's nuts. But of course, at the moment, Harry is spoon-feeding the mainstream media stories he wants out there, so they're giving him a pass on African parks. I mean, we saw from the Daily Telegraph this week, didn't we, that the ludicrous claims. I mean, I read the whole thing. It might as well have been an Archewell press release, right, about Prince Harry's security and why he needs it. And as you posted on this, Tash, the stalker, the Sussex Squad stalker. And as you posted, now, whilst I do not want any physical harm to come to Harry or anyone, I do find this funny. Harry has actively encouraged the Sussex Squad for years, despite the vile attacks that they do on people. They actively stalk and harass people that they think have disrespected their idol. I know so many people that have been targeted online and also at their homes, me included. They have continually harassed individuals, contacted people's employees with false allegations, prank called police to go to people's homes and use pictures of people's children, their schools, doxing relatives, people's parents, etc. So I find this little bit of toxic karma that one of them is now stalking Harry. However, I'm not convinced that this isn't arranged so he can keep pushing for security. I mean, Tash, at the very least, we can say that if this was the worst threat to Prince Harry, a bit of a Sussex Squad superfan who's stupid enough to pay to follow him around the world, then let the police get on with what they really need to be doing in the United Kingdom, Harry, trying to stop Islamist terror attacks. Remember one happened last week, okay?
Yeah. It's the fact that all she's done, from what I've read, is she's followed him like a fangirl. She hid in the toilets in hope that she could see him. I mean, girls were doing that when Elvis Presley was playing in places. You know, it's he should be grateful he's got a fan, to be honest with you. But I mean, to turn around and say that she's on the watch list because she follows them. I mean, there are lots of things circulating on social media where you're seeing the Sussex Squad defend her, saying we are invited by Harry and Meghan to attend these events. And that's the bigger thing, is Harry using one of these women that they have openly invited to attend these events to then set them up to say, oh, we're being stalked and harassed. I mean, they went out of their way to set up the New York car chase. So it wouldn't surprise me that they would sacrifice one of their Sussex Squad if it meant there might be a tiny chance that Harry could get his security reinstated. Because it's awfully funny that the place that she got the closest to him was on UK soil. You know, that's where Harry was really concerned because she got close to him twice. She lives in America. He lives in America. Why has this only come to light when he's in the UK? Surely if she was that terrible, she would be harassing him at one of his homes.
I know. I thought it was all ludicrous, actually.
Smell a rat. Smell a rat.
I really did, yeah. A big old rat. But again, the biggest frustration for Harry and Meghan this week, of course, is that the real royals, Prince William and Catherine, are owning the narrative. No matter how ludicrous Harry's stunts are. I mean, even People magazine, Tash, deciding to go with William on the cover after the Eugene Levy article. After the Eugene Levy interview, sorry.
Yeah. No, it's great. It is great. But I mean, I think most magazines, you only have to walk into a big supermarket like we have over here or a big department store. They've got all of the magazines up. And if ever Meghan's face was on the front of them, they were the ones that were left with the majority of the copies because people have had enough. They're completely oversaturated by her. I think people just don't believe anything that she's selling. She has been on the main stage now for so long. People have seen her reinvent herself so many times. It's hard to keep up. But Catherine and William, well, that they go quicker. I mean, I've even gone to collect a special edition one, and I've gone to the big supermarkets and they're sold out, and they only came out that very morning. People like to read about Catherine and William, like I said it earlier at the beginning, you know, because they're positive, they're uplifting, they're doing good things that you can actually see. You can see Homewards working, the homelessness initiative. You can see the Earthshot Prize working. The early years, you can actually see that they put their money where their mouth is. They walk the walk rather than just talk the talk. And they do wonderful things. They are the best representation of the royal family on the UK stage. I mean, obviously the rest of the royals, Sotheby and Edwards, the Duke and Duchess and Princess Anne, but they're doing good things, whereas Harry and Meghan are just doing things for themselves, and never has it been more obvious.
Never has it been more obvious, Tash. You are so right. You are so right. The contrast between these two couples this week could not be any greater. but I am very much looking forward to watching your takes on the brilliant According to Taz YouTube channel, which I, of course, highly recommend everyone subscribes to. And if you do want first access to our Royal Uncancelled After Show here on Substack, where you get much more from According to Taz, and our other royal experts, Lady Colin Campbell, Angela Levin, the Royal News Network, the Sidley twins, P. Diner, then please do sign up to my Substack. www.outspoken.live is the address. You'll get twice the length of what you just saw every single weekday, Monday to Friday. You can watch it with no advertising whatsoever. Watch it as soon as it's released, either live or on demand, whichever you prefer. And Substack is a free speech platform which protects me from big tech cancellation. That address again, www.outspoken.live. Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.